Hi there, it's Maria here from KUHN RIKON. I would love to show you our risotto today in the pressure cooker. If you've never used a pressure cooker before, it's a fantastic way to eliminate any of the stirring and any of the extra time that you might spend. Now, I am using a DUROMATIC from KUHN RIKON. It's the Neo range, and the great thing about the Neo is that it has some guidelines on the top. Again, if you're new to pressure cooking, this is the one to go for. So we're going to dive straight in. We've got our ingredients here. We've got a little bit of, it's a vegetarian dish. You could make it vegan as well. I'll show you how to later. But we're just going to dive straight in with 50 grams of butter. Now, I've already preheated my base. This is an induction hob, and so these will work on induction as well. So 50 grams of butter, you want to melt that down. Nice sizzle. The pressure cooker, when you're using it without the lid, is basically a saucepan, so you can just saute anything you like. We're just going to get that butter melting. To that, we are going to add our garlic. Now, I tend to use 1 garlic clove per person. That's just me. That's how I roll. We are then going to be using 1 onion. So I've just chopped 1 full onion. That's going to go in. And we're going to get that to saute for a minute. A minute or 2, depending on your heat. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. Browning away. So this is where you're going to get all the flavor. Pressure cooking is magical. You get maximum flavor with minimum effort. And the reason is because you're going to put the lid on and it's going to contain everything. But for now, you want to get all your flavor bombs in there. So next up, now this is one of our measuring cups. The app, the KUHN RIKON app, is fantastic because it's going to show you ratios of liquid to food, and it's going to show you cooking times. So when you get onto the app, you'll see that it's a 3-to-1 ratio for risotto. This is risotto rice. I've got 500 ml, 2 cups basically, and I'm going to go in and we're going to give that a nice stir. So that was 2 cups of risotto rice. We're going to have to triple the amount of liquid. Now, I am doing a mixture of liquids. I'm doing 500 ml of straight up veg stock. That's going to go in. Okay. I'm going to do 500 ml of straight up wine. Again, you can vary this if you need to. It could just be pure stock. Doesn't really matter. And I'm going to do 500 ml of porcini mushroom stock. Now, this actually has the porcini mushrooms that have been soaked in there, which adds flavor and adds to the mushrooms that we're going to put in later as well. So this is going to get a nice stir. And that is the exact ratio of liquid to rice. Smells amazing already. Nice bit of wine in there. Now you do have little measures to indicate 2/3 full. We're well below that in our pressure cooker. That means you're going to be safe. It's not going to overflow or anything. Overfilling is quite common in pressure cookers, so just keep an eye on that if you're cooking at home. Now I want to add some extra flavors. I'm going to go with 2 sage leaves, and these are something that, much like bay leaves, you could use and then just take out at the end. I'm just going to give them a little crush, release some flavor, drop those in. And then we've got our extra veg. So we've got Savoy cabbage, and I've got 100 grams of this here. We're going to pop that in. No airs and graces. We're just putting things in. This is my type of cooking. Bung it in. And then we've got 300 grams of chestnut mushrooms, but this could be any type of mushroom that you like. This is a good one to get leftovers used up in your fridge. Chorizo goes well. I was talking to someone earlier about using chorizo. So we're going to give that a nice stir, and we're going to keep an eye on the heat. We want it to be simmering, and then once it's simmering, you get to put the lid on. Now, normally, everybody knows with risotto, normally you would have been putting the stock in slowly. You would have been standing and stirring. That's not what I want to do today. Oh, I can smell the wine. Delicious. I'm going to do a little bit of salt and pepper just to season. And these are our pepper and grinder, salt and pepper grinders, and another stir. And then I am going to put the lid on. So your app will show you, but this amount of risotto, 7 minutes. So here is our pressure cooker lid. We've got our gasket inside. We've got our valve on top. The beauty of the pressure cookers from KUHN RIKON is that they are safe and quiet. There's a little arrow there, and you line it up, and then you seal. Now I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. I want to go, because this is an induction, so if you have maximum heat, gas induction doesn't matter. I want you to go about 2/3, so like a medium-high heat. I want you to stay there and just keep an eye on it, because what we want is for our pressure to come up to level 1, and this is the valve. Level 1 is 1 red band. So you'll wait, you'll start to see the pressure come up. It won't make any noise. If the pressure gets too high, for example, level 2, you might just want to turn the heat down, and 7 minutes. So as soon as you see a red band, you're going to set your timer. So we will hover about here and we'll keep an eye on it until we see level 1. Okay, so here we have it. Now, this is level 2. It just popped up to level 2. Now, I had it at level 1 for 7 minutes. The app will show you, but 7 minutes with a 3-to-1 ratio for risotto is ideal. Now, so I've done my 7 minutes. I've timed my 7 minutes. I'm going to turn it off. The heat is completely off, and I'm actually going to move it away from the heat. Now, there's 2 different things you can do at this point. Naturally, the pressure will release if you want to just let it sit there and release. However, there is our valve here, and you can do a manual release by pressing like so. Now notice how it was silent until the moment that I chose to release the steam. So these are the 2 amazing things with KUHN RIKON. You've got the choice of a manual release or a natural release. So it totally depends what you want to do. Some people just like to let it do its own thing. Some people like to manually release. Now I'm just going to let it continue to release the steam while I prep my garnish and get the rest of my meal ready. So I've got some parsley here, which I'm going to chop. And this is a fantastic little flavor maker at the end. And I'm the kind of person who I like to always have a few things on the table that people are just gonna make it their own, add to their dish. So parsley is 1. Then the second thing is Parmesan, of course. I'm actually gonna put some into the dish, and then it will be on the table as well. Now, Parmesan is not vegan, and some Parmesan is not even vegetarian, actually. But we have nutritional yeast instead. Now, nutritional yeast is fantastic. It thickens, and it gives a huge amount of flavor, and it's got loads of B12 in it too. And then finally, we've got truffle oil, which we're going to drizzle over. So all of those extra flavors, people can help themselves. I just love that element of sharing on the table, and people being able to kind of make their own dish to their own taste. So we're going to continue our steam release. And you'll know, you can see the valves getting lower, less pressure. But this is probably a world away from the pressure cookers that you might remember. I know a lot of people remember pressure cookers with their parents or pressure cookers from 20, 30 years ago. But this is a different level of safety, ease, quiet cooking. Get my seasoning. And another safety feature is that you will not be able to open the lid until the pressure is fully released. So there are no nerves as to knowing whether it's safe to open. If this valve is up even at all, the lid is locked. It is fully safely locked. There's not much you can do except wait for the pressure to release or manually release like I'm doing here. Now, risottos are not an exact science in many ways. A lot of people prefer to have it a little bit more liquidy, a little bit more al dente, much like pasta. You know, you're in control, you can choose. So I like to open it first. Have a little look. If you think it needs thickening up a little more, or it needs a little more nutritional yeast, which would do the job to thicken it. Some people want to add a bit of cream. Again, I'm all about making recipes your own. So we can see the valve is fully down, and now we are able to open it by releasing. Now we're going to put that to the side, and here we have a beautiful, now look, that liquid hasn't gone anywhere. That liquid has not gone, all it is flavor. Oh my God, that is fantastic. So I'm actually really happy with that, to be honest. You could be doing maybe just a touch, a couple of minutes more on the heat, but I'm actually just going to add some of my Parmesan, maybe 3 teaspoons. You want a little bit, 4, why not? You want a little bit for the table. And we're just going to give that a stir. And we're also going to go salt and pepper again. But that can then go on the table for your guests or for your family or for yourself. That smells unbelievable. Now that is 1 pot cooking. The amount of flavour you're getting, the reduced energy usage because you've got the lid on. Oh my gosh, with the Parmesan, that is amazing. So, I mean, I'm not too fussy. I would literally take that to the table, pop it onto the trivet, let everyone help themselves. That's just how I eat. But you could obviously make it. Let me bring my station over. Here we have our nice, generous portion, nice big ladle. Vegan if you want it to be, veggie if you want it to be, meaty if you want it to be. There's some sage leaves in there, up to you if you want to take those out or if someone's happy to just dive in and eat. And I want to add more Parmesan. And I want to add some chopped parsley. And I want to add a little drizzle of luxury. And that is truffle porcini mushroom risotto in the DUROMATIC. Unbelievable, quick, safe, easy. Bon appetit.